Welcome everyone to the virtual session for English 12, Professor Ellis's class for fall 2020. Everyone should see what I have on my screen, which is our online library guide. So if everyone doesn't know, the address for this online library guide, go to the address bar, right? And you type in is.gd/library online. Okay, and once you have that, you press enter. You would be looking at the landing page of this online library guide. Okay, so you're going to see, what this is about. You'll see on the landing page, if you look to the bottom, a contact box. That's me, Wendy Chu, as your librarian. Contact information, my office number, and my email address. Okay, so you can always contact me after the session if you are running into trouble using the resources on this library guide. So a little something about this landing page. You see the button right here. It says click for campus resources for students. I include this because you never know, you're going to have questions about different services, offices on campus. So if you click on this button, here you go, depending on what you want to know, if you are interested in the student emergency grant funds, right? You click on it, it presents you information about it and where to contact for this emergency fund. Okay, so this is a pretty nice guide for students right here on the landing page. So let's look up top. Now, on this online library guide, basically there are 3 steps. Step 1 for first-time users, which we will run in a little while. Step 2, where your class page is. You see a whole bunch of pages right under the tab, right? So these are different class pages that I created for student research. Step 3, student tools. You're going to be, I would have less time to get into this particular step. I hope that, when you're, starting your research, if you're running into questions, that you take advantage of the student tools for this tab. You may have, let's say something like the subject research guides here. If you are in other classes and you want to get resources for those other classes, it's all here under student tools. So take some time to explore what's available under step 3. For our session today, I'm going to begin with step 1, first-time users. Okay, so this is what we must know for us to make use of library resources. You'll see it's a very short module. For students who are not able to attend this session, please give yourselves time to run this module at home. It's very short. It's like a slideshow, but it tells you the essential information, once again, to access library resources. Okay, so let's get started. So the first thing about access, and this is new as of fall 2020. In previous semesters, there was something called the barcode, and the barcode would be right on your college ID, and students would use the barcode to access library databases. At this point, we did away with the barcode. It's no longer about the barcode. It is instead, as of this semester, your CUNY login. And what is the CUNY login? I hope that people recognize immediately when I say CUNY first, okay, because that's the system with the username and password that you need to know, okay, for you to access the databases. you will be prompted for the username, right? And what is the username? In most cases for students, it is your first name dot last name, and then 2 digits, okay? And these 2 digits happen to be the digits of your Ample ID, okay? And the Ample ID is on your college ID card. And you take out your college ID card, look at the last 2 digits of this number, okay? That is part of your username, okay? And people should, again, recognize this because they're exactly the same as the CUNY first system. And what is the CUNY first system? Well, how did you first enroll into this class, right? That's the system that you use to enroll into all the classes for the semester. That's the system that you go into to change your classes, right? Everything about registration is on that system, okay? And as far as your password, it's something that you should have written down. That's when you first were asked, for when you created the account. So on the slide, if you have any questions about what the username and password are, you can click on this button, right? It's going to lead you to information about, right now, the CUNY login, okay, why it's essential. So after we get through with the login, this is what you will be seeing, okay? Anytime that you click on a link to an ebook, to a database, anything that's electronic, okay, from the library, you will look up a screen, something like what I have here. Okay, on your computer, you would have a screen that requires you to input the username and password. And once again, they're what we just talked about from the CUNY login. Okay, and this slide has information about if there is login issue, right, with this account. You forgot your password, something is not right, you're not getting it. Anything that has to do with CUNY first, okay, which I'm gonna just abbreviate and turn it into CUNY login. If you have any login issues with the system, it's IT, okay, the IT department. You can contact them with this phone number as well as this email address. You can also click on this button to get directly to the help desk. They'll create a ticket for you, and maybe they'll have an assistant right online to help you through. They can look up your account to find out what's going on. Unfortunately, librarians don't run the CUNY first system. So, if you tell us that there is a login issue, a lot of times we would forward your information to IT. So, instead of us being kind of the middleman, you may just call IT directly to find out what's going on with CUNY first. Okay, so this has the contact information for that. Before we go on, I want to make sure people are understanding this part, because essentially with this module, that is the most important thing that students should take away from. Everyone's okay. Nobody's having questions about this. Let's give ourselves a couple of secs to see if people are okay here.
Everybody's good?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, wonderful, wonderful. So let's just move on then. Okay, so the next slide is about finding our library main page. Okay, there are different ways. You could use Google and just type in Kingsborough Community College Library, and it's going to give you the link to this website. If you're using our online library guide, you can also get there with what I have here, Route 2, right? Just by going to Step 2, right? You see the first link is go to library website. Okay, so the library website is different from the class pages, which we will explore. The reason is there's so much more offered on the library website. Okay, so in addition to the recommendations that I make for research in your class, on the library website, you're going to see other services, what is available, links to librarians. So, outside this class, perhaps after the semester, right, when you're doing research for your other classes, you may have to go to the library main page. So you can always come back to this library guide and take the first link to the main page. You can also, on any page on the Kingsborough College website, find quick links. This little video, well, will show you, okay, how you're gonna get to quick links. And once you get to quick links, it's a matter of looking up, right? Finding library under quick links and, clicking on library, it's going to get you to the library main page. So there you go. This video explains that. Okay, so 2 different ways of getting to the library main page. And once you are on the library main page, okay, so this next slide explains a little bit about what you will see. Okay, as I said, there are all kinds of services available, okay, not just to students, but also to the rest of the Kingsborough community. You'll see this slide explains what they are, right? You're gonna see these core functions on the left. And if you're using the slide, all you have to do is just click on any of these links, and it's gonna explain, okay, what is that function? What does that do? Okay, and if that's what you're interested in, it also provides you with a link to that page right from the pop-up. So you could just click on the link and get you directly to that particular function on the library website. So this is a good way to learn about what the library main page does to everyone, to students, to faculty members, to anyone who's using our library main page. Let's go to the next slide. So we don't have that many slides. I just want to provide the basics, right, for people who are coming to this virtual library for the first time. The next slide is a very short video. It's an introductory video to our library. So my computer is taking a little bit of time to load up, but again, it's a very short video. And for those who've been to the campus, they recognize the building, they know how to find the library. But if you are one of those who are completely new to the campus, right, and because of this thing with the pandemic, you didn't get an opportunity to yet. So, if you run this video from home, it's going to tell you what our library building looks like, what's inside, the collections available. So you recognize us. And perhaps someday after the semester, right, when you're on the campus, you can drop by and, realize the different hotspots that are shown right in the video. Okay, so I'm not going to take too much time on this slide. So finally, right, as I mentioned with this pandemic, everything is closed on campus, right? But there is the virtual library, and all the librarians, we have our library hours, right? And with this slide, you see that the library is still open. The virtual library is open 7 days a week for these hours, and that you can contact us. You could email the reference desk. You can call the reference desk. Somebody is here to help you. You can contact me as your class librarian too with any issues related to databases, doing research. I want to answer a question that some of you may have concerning books that you have out, just so that you guys know what to do. In case anyone holds a book from the library right now, right? At this point, if you've had the book for a few months, and because the campus is closed, you couldn't return the book, just to let you know, don't worry about it. Don't worry about having to return the book, right? It's not your fault that the campus is closed and that you cannot return anything. You should not, and you will not incur overdues for holding on to your loans, okay? In case anyone is receiving notices from, let's say, the library, if you received an email notice having you return, let's say, the book, right? Just ignore the notice, right? It is a system issue. These notices are sent out by the central office, right? And they are tweaking the system so that it does not confuse people, because obviously you guys cannot come to the campus yet to return anything. So if you have a book, hold on to it. Once we reopen, okay, we will contact you to let you know, okay, please drop by the library to return it. So you should not be receiving anything that tells you, please return things. You have, you know, a charge of, I don't know, $2 or $3 because of the book. Don't worry about that. Everyone's okay, hopefully, with that, right? Because that is an issue that I want to get through. People are not confused about it, okay? So that is the first step, okay? So again, just to let people know, anyone who just, if you know classmates that who are not able to attend this session, let them know to run this module, right? And so that they are aware of the access code, our library hours, right? And the thing about email notices from the library. Okay, that's very important. So with that, we are gonna move on to step 2, okay? And as I said, this is where all the class pages are. And for our session, this is the English 12, Professor Ellis. You see the theme of the class, right? So if you click on it, it brings you to, okay, give it a sec because again, my connection is a little slow, but here is the class page, okay? Online English 12 Library Research Guide. And once again, you have the fall 2020 semester, your professor, the theme for the class, and here is my contact information as your librarian. And right below, you're gonna see this red box, right? Posting information about our virtual session right now, right? Just to, people should know, I'm recording this whole session, right? So after our session, sometime tomorrow, I'm gonna post the recording of the session right here in this red box. So again, to let your classmates who are not attending know, okay, if they're missing this session, just come back to the class page and they're gonna see a video recording of the session right here. Okay, so let's just scroll down the class page and explore a little bit. You'll see, first thing is the section on recommended databases. Okay, so I am recommending some databases for you to dive in and do research. Okay, if you look under the section, again, you're going to see different tabs. The first thing is the tab is Topic Finder. And right under Topic Finder, there is a link to the first database, Opposing Viewpoints in Context, right? If I click on another tab, newspapers and magazines, it brings you to other databases, 3 different databases for newspapers and magazines. Okay, and you have only to just click on a link to get into the database. You have also for scholarly journals, right? Let's say you're looking for an article in the journal, right? These are the databases to get to the journal articles. And then there is also one for reference guides, encyclopedias, handbooks, all the reference works. Okay, that would be the database for it. So you'll see for each section, there is a little green button. It says click the video tutorial. Okay, so again, if you are by yourself at home and you're looking at this class page, you don't know what to do about these, right? These tabs. How do you get into a database? Right, you're gonna just click on the green button. It opens up a YouTube video. It's a very short video, and it's gonna explain what you need to do to get into the database. All right, and then you'll see as you look down, all right, here is the green button again for this section, recommended books and ebooks. Okay, I'm recommending 5 books. They're all electronic, having to do with what you're talking about, what you're discussing, some of your assignments, okay, for this class. And these are also good books for you to, look up, get the records, and see if you would find related resources with. Okay, and as you see, there's the green button. So if you're not sure what to do, click open the green button. There is a short video. It's going to explain how you get into the book. And lastly, the section on OneSearch, which is somewhat like the library catalog, right? The library catalog that has connections to all the databases, right? So instead of using one database, right, or getting into one book, I'm going to look at the entire system and see all the related sources having to do with the keywords that I type in. You see, this is a search box, right? Whatever I'm typing in, right? It could be something about the color of water, right? You want to see if anyone's written about the book, right? The kind of, let's say, journal articles or maybe even newspaper articles having to do with color of water. If that's the case, you could type into the library catalog search box, click on search, right? It's going to bring you into the library catalog. There's also a video tutorial on that. So with that, let's just begin and explain a little bit about using some of these sections, right? We have the short video, but we also have this very session. So let's use an example. I'm going to open one of the books, right? This one in the middle section for recommended ebooks, right? This is the After Identity book, right? And we are using it so that you know what the library catalog looks like. I talked about the search box on the bottom, but if you click on this book, it's gonna bring you directly to its record on the library catalog. All you have to do is either click on the book cover or the title. And once you do, it's gonna, hopefully, if anyone's left me a message on chat, so far it's okay. Just people are not too happy about getting online. All right, so I'm gonna just keep this open. So there we go. Here is finally the record. And once you see what I'm talking about, here's the library catalog. The colors, our school color, blue. It should also have a little bit of orange or yellow. In the past it did, but at this point it's just plain blue. And was that something?
No. I'm
Okay.
just-
Okay, so here's the book, After Identity, Rethinking Race and Sex and Gender. Okay, and you'll see that this is a book because it indicates it's a book. And right under the title, you're going to see this link that says available online. Okay, anytime that you see this description for a book or any resource from the library catalog, it tells you you're going to be able to open it up instantly with your CUNY login. Okay, you're going to have to click on this link. It brings you to the collections in which there is the link for this book. And so far, there's just one collection, the Ebook Central collection, with access to this book. Okay, so let's just open it up so people know what they will expect when they try to open any ebook. You click on the link. There we go. You see, off-campus access, right, from our school. Just wait a little more. It's going to take you to the next screen. And this screen is what I was talking about on the slide before, right? You will be prompted for this information. So what is the username and what is the password? Remember, those are the CUNY login. Okay, so, you know, if again, you're not sure, you forgot the password, your username, there are links right below the login button, right? You could click on these, and if you still have issues, the IT help desk. And there was the slide with the contact information. So here I'm going to use my own, right, so that we could get in. And if everything is okay, there is no issue, right? This is Ebook Central, and this is the platform for reading the book. If you scroll down, you're going to see the table of contents, right? All these are the different chapters of the book, right? And there are sometimes subsections for the chapters, right? You just click on, let's say, the link to expand on the chapter, right? So now you have the construction of racial identities, right? The politics of identity, passing and authenticity, right? Let's say race and interpretation. There is also subsection for that. So you can look through the different chapters this way, right? And if you're interested in any of the sections, this is all linking directly to those places. You just have to click on. And here is the ebook, right? We all have access to books of this sort from the library catalog at this point. So, you know, you can start reading on the screen. There is a menu bar right here where, you know, you could customize a little bit, right, to make it more comfortable reading. If this is the chapter that, you know, you want to talk about for any of your essays, you have the choice. I recommend ignore the first one, full download, and do a chapter download for, you know, the pages that you want to use, right? You could download as a PDF, and then you don't have to worry about, let's say, accessing the same collection again and, you know, doing all this linking and expanding stuff. You have the PDF directly. I want to come back to its record on the library catalog, just to let people know about the tools on the record. Okay, again, this is one of the books that we are using on the class page. And you'll see on the record, you see the second section here, send to, right? A lot of tools. Okay, one of them is the citation tool right here. And if you click on it, and let's say, you're using that book for your essay, right? It produces the citation in the different formats, right, that you can select, right? And here is the citation, and you have only to copy citation to clipboard. So it's going to copy the entire selection. And then if you have on Word, if you're using Google Docs, right, you can then paste the selection to those files. So you can work a few things at the same time. If we look down the record, we also see, you see these are the subject links on the record. So let's say this is a great book, right? You want to find other related sources from the library catalog. Make use of the subject links. Identity psychology with the social aspects, right? You could use any of these, click on these links. It's going to take you to all those sources on that subject, right? So a lot is right on the record for each of those books that I'm recommending. The book that we are using is this middle one. You see this other one, light bright, right? And then mixing it up. So all these, if you go into each of them, you'll see that there's going to be a great deal of information that you may be talking about in class. So, if you want to find related resources, that's a good way to begin. Make use of the book recommendations right on the class page. See if you could use some of the related subject links on these records. Okay, so I'm going to just go up and now use one of the databases. You see, database 1 for topic finder, opposing viewpoints in context. Okay, so I'm going to use this first database. Let's say, I have to write an essay and I'm not sure what the topic is. We've had some discussions in class, but I really am not seeing clearly what I should be writing about yet. Right? So this is a good database to get into. And notice when I clicked on the database link, right, this time, it's not prompting me for the login. Instead, I'm going directly to the database. So just know that once you put in the username and password, okay, you don't have to do it again for the duration of the sitting, right? So as long as you're sitting in front of the computer and you're doing research and you're looking into library resources, once you put in the username and password for that first time, okay, it's going to remember that information. It's going to remember it. And let's say you're done with research, you shut down the computer, maybe you return to it tomorrow. Well, that's when it's going to prompt you for the same information again. So it's going to remember it only as long as you're sitting in front of the computer. And here is the database, right? The great thing about this database, again, as a topic finder database, it's good because it shows you the different centers, topic centers. You can go into each of them. If you go into society and culture, it allows you to think about the different issues of society. So let me just scroll down. Okay, so as you see on society and culture, right? Look at all the different issues in alphabetical order, right? That you could go into? All right. Now, it used to be that they would have this entire listing in 3 different columns, but maybe on my PC, it's showing as one listing. So it's not capturing everything. It's harder and you have to scroll down, right? And maybe for a lot of students, you don't want to take all this time just browsing issues this way, right? So if that's the case, go back up, right? And there's a search box. And this is where you could say, what am I interested in? I'm interested in, okay, racially mixed people, right? I want to see what kind of sources, right? I have on the class page some suggestions. You could try some of the issues here, right? They are all available in the database. You could make use of some of these issues. But if you're typing in the keywords yourself, this allows you to see what is available in the database. Results by category, right? Right up here. What is available in this database? You have academic journals, you have newspaper articles, you have magazines, okay? So multimedia and perspectives on the issue of racially mixed people. So there's a lot to choose from. You can, just scroll down, or if you have a certain category in mind, I want to look into, let's say, newspapers, okay? Newspaper articles having to do with racially mixed people. You can click, and it's going to get you to. So different ways to do searching. You can type into the search box. You can browse for issues from this one database, okay? Let's say if there is anything that you're interested in, right? Let's say this, article, simply click on, and this looks pretty recent, August 18th. It is a newspaper article, and you could, read through this, see if it has information about racially mixed people that you find useful. Consider if that's what you want to write about as as an essay for class, right? And if it happens to be one of the sources that you're going to use for Professor Ellis on the screen, okay? You see, just like a lot of the library databases, the library catalog, there are tools. Tools like this one. I bring your attention to always the tool for citation, right? In this database, it is a Gale database. This is a citation tool. So if I'm interested in using this as a source, click on Cite, and there it is, right? This article in MLA, right? And at this point, it doesn't have the copy button like the library catalog. So I'm afraid that you would have to either highlight, right? Or just select and then do your own copy and paste, right? So you're gonna just copy, use the copy command, and paste it into, again, whichever word processing document you're using. It could be Google Drive, it could be Microsoft Word on your own PC. If you want to save this, right, let's say I want to download this article or send it to your email to save the information, that's how you do it with the other tools on the platform. Okay, so as long as you're using a library database, there are tools so that you can gather up the essential information, to cite it as the source for your assignment. It's always going to be somewhere on the platform, either on top, on the bottom, on the side, a whole bunch of tools that are helpful for your research. Okay, and I'm just going to bring us back to the results. Okay, and in the database, there are, just like the library catalog, you know, the book record, there are related subject links. The same thing for the database, right? If you're going into any of these items, just by clicking on it, it's going to present a lot of the related items to you. So if you need to find a few sources and you find one hit in this database, see if you could let this hit lead you to other related sources. Okay, so I'm gonna once again turn on chat to see if there's anyone with a question. Okay, no question. Any question? Let's say if there's anyone who wants to speak up and, you know, ask me their question.
I have a question, Ms.
Okay.
Chu.
Yes.
So this library, we can access it through anything like this. Like let's say if we have a Kindle, can we use it on the Kindle where we can download that book, or does it necessarily have to be like on a laptop or a regular computer?
Okay, now the Kindle is a reading device, right? So it's just a reading platform.
Yeah.
And if you like, you know, if we go back to the ebook that we opened up at the beginning, right? You can download that book as a PDF. Again, I don't recommend, you know, here is the you know, the 5 books that I'm recommending. Okay, so you can download these books, but I don't recommend that you download the entire book, you know, and put on Kindle, because, you know, you don't need to do cover to cover reading for your essays. If you really like that book and you want to read through the entire book, you can do so. You have to take a couple more steps, you know, as far as creating an account with the collection, right? You know, before, when we opened up this book, right, there was the first option to do a full download. And then there was the second option of doing a chapter download. It's easier if you simply do a chapter download of, you know, whichever section you're using. And once you do it, it's going to be a PDF, and you can place it into your Kindle and you can read it anywhere. You can place your PDF on your smartphone, your laptop, your PC, anything, right? The thing about doing the full download is you're going to have to download, you know, the platform. You have to create the account. It's a little more tedious when you don't need to read the full book, right? So I recommend, if you open any of these books, or if you use the library catalog below and you search for your items and you find, let's say, other books, right? I recommend that you always look for the option to do the partial, the chapter downloads instead of the full book. That was a good question. Anyone else with a question?
Also, sorry, one more thing.
Sure.
So you were showing us how to cite it. That was the same way we can do it with the 5 books you just suggested?
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, it doesn't matter whether you are using, you know, the books, the library, you know, on the bottom, right? The search box into our library catalog. I could, you know, type in color of water, right? And then see what is available on the library catalog having to do with your book, the color of water. When you do, right, any item on the list of results, right, you're going to see all the accompanying tools for those items, one of which is the cite button, citation, right? So if, you know, any of those items end up being used by you for the essay, right, make sure on the library catalog that you get the citation thing and that we wouldn't have to do more waiting. Okay, so it looks like we are done. You see on the color of water, we have from the library catalog 7,000 plus results. So that's a lot from, you know, one system. I want people, if they're using the library catalog, right, to look to the left side, right, because there are certain filters that people should help themselves with before just diving into the very first item on the list. For example, when you're looking at so many results and you're sitting at home, right, you have to decide, because the library is closed, you're not going to be getting anything on the shelf. You're not going to be coming to the building to get anything. So it's useless to select things currently on shelf. You see this filter, right? I'm going to exclude it. And then it's going to clean up the results. Getting rid of anything is the full text online filter. Okay, you see full text online, right? Here is, instead of excluding, I'm going to turn it on by selecting, by clicking on this little square. Right? If I do it, that's one way of ensuring that everything that I have on this list, and it looks like the book is available online. You see, Color of Water, there's an ebook available. Right? It looks like there is an ebook available. You would be able to get access if you click on it. Right? So here is full text available. Let me just go down a little more. Look for resource type. I'm going to open it up. And resource type allows me to see the types of results by category. Right? So if Professor Ellis says, you know, you have to find only journal articles, right? Here are the filters for that, right? If she says, okay, I don't mind, you know, any kind of sources, that would be fine, all right? Then maybe you don't have to turn on, you know, any of these under resource type. But it allows you to think about the kind of results that are being selected, you know, when you have on those keywords. Now, I want to, you know, so for students who want to, let's say, look up specifically newspaper articles as a librarian, I'll tell you, instead of using the library catalog, I recommend that you use the databases up top, recommended databases. Okay, I have here 3 different databases. I recommend that you use any of them. Go into the database and look for whatever you have to instead. Okay, it is not as accurate if you use the library catalog, because it ends up, you know, showing you certain items from certain databases, but not enough. Okay, this is again a tidbit only for those who want specifically newspaper articles. But, you know, if you don't mind, you don't, there is no restriction, then it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Okay, so any other question on any of these on the library catalog? I mean, on the class page? Everyone's okay?
Oh, Wendy?
Yes.
Good night.
Oh, sorry. Someone had a question? Go ahead.
I put it in the chat for the professor, but I can ask Wendy.
See it.
Does any of the catalogs come audible?
Does it what?
Audible.
Be audible? Did you
Yeah.
say audible?
Yes.
You mean the books?
Yes.
Okay. Now, I think that if you go into some of the collections, depending on the collection, the audio feature might be available. And if that is the case, you can download, again, the chapter or the article in an audio file, as an audio file, like an MP3. Okay, now if you want audio books, specifically audio books from the library catalog, I have to say, unfortunately for our college library, audio books, right, as a category, the public libraries have a lot more of those. But then, you wouldn't have audiobooks for like college textbooks. I don't think that is available. For a lot of the novels, literary works, you may have the audio version. But, we are a college library, so a lot of our books are going to be college level textbooks, right? And those, there is simply no audio edition, right? But as I said, depending on the collection, there is the audio feature. You're going to see it, like turn on read aloud, that tool available on certain collections. And if you see that and you click it on, you can listen to the whole collection, right? Or you can download it as an MP3 so that you can, save it onto, again, your smartphone or anything else to listen later on. Other questions?
Wendy?
Yes.
I don't know if you have planned to talk about this, but I just want to make sure we address the issue, or that people understand exactly why it's important for them to go to the library databases as opposed to simply Googling this information. You guys all clear on why this is important and why we're going to insist that you go this route as opposed to Google?
Well, okay, now Google, especially with what's happening to us right now, Google is very simple, right? You type in whatever you need, it's going to give you a lot of results, millions of results. But I hope that from the couple of searches that we've done, right, a lot of you, when you're looking at my screen, you see that when you're using the library database, like the topic finder, right, opposing viewpoints in context, or when you open up, right, the recommended book, or you're looking at the results on the library catalog for color of water, it allows you to see the sources as they are, meaning that you see whether it's a newspaper article, right? And when you do the citation tool, it allows you to see exactly where it's coming from, who wrote it, right? That kind of citation itself allows students to know what type of information you're getting when you are looking at the results on the Google screen. It's secondary to what you're immediately reading, right? You're going to be reading the content immediately on the page, whether or not it's interesting to you. But do you think about what that information is? Is it from a newspaper, from a magazine, from a journal? Especially in these categories, that's where, college level research is coming from, allowing you to take the necessary categories for any project or assignment you're doing, because your professors, as you're getting into, other classes, will make the requirement, I want peer review journal articles. So if your professor is very specific, Well, then with whatever you're getting from Google, how do you know you're getting the peer-reviewed journal article? It doesn't have that information immediately clearly, right, on the screen. But it sounds like it's related to what you're looking for, as far as, you know, the topic. So that kind of like checking on the credibility of that article falls secondary to whether or not it fits your topic. Now that itself, I have to say, a lot of students, you know, this library session, I'm teaching you how to make use of the class page, right? Unfortunately, we cannot get too deep into. That is information literacy, the credibility of any article that you're taking. I would direct your attention to, under step 3, the information literacy workshop, where it's going to be more specific as far as what makes something a good source, right? What are the criteria, right, in selecting the source? It takes, you know, a lot more workshops, but hopefully with this is a very good question. It's going to lead students to think about selecting sources that, you know, they are not just the first source that you would see when you're typing in on Google. And, you know, if it's acceptable because it has to do with your topic, then yes, it's going to be your source. Well, for college level research, a lot of times it's a little deeper than just taking any source, right? I brought in peer-reviewed journal articles, but it's looking into some of the 6 concepts that we have on this workshop. So on your own, right? Think if you want to take a little more time to look into it, okay, run the different videos that explain a little more about these concepts under information literacy. I think that it would be really helpful for you, right, as you're looking for sources. So as you see, it's a very short video that explains the concepts, but they are available under step 3, student tools. So that was a great question. You know, I didn't have, as I said before, I didn't have too much time to get into the student tools under step 3, but they are, you know, they are all available on the online library guide, and they are all, whether or not it's this semester or the next semester, you can always come back to this library guide with these tools. Your class page may not be here after the semester, but the other tools will be. So, and then, you know, there's a lot more to just information literacy. You'll see, I said before, there are the subject research guides and other research tips, all here under student tools. So any other questions? Everyone okay? Okay, so
Everybody good?
now again, I'm doing a recording of the session, and I will place this recording on the class page in that red box, right? So let your classmates know to turn to the video if they're not able to attend the session. And there's always the contact box everywhere on the online library guide. If you run into problems, let's say I have a topic or I don't have a topic, you can contact me and say, you know, Wendy, you know, there's so much on the class page. I don't know where to go, but here's my topic. How would you find sources on this topic? You can contact me, okay? And I will respond back with what I see in these various places. But the whole idea is, you know, for college research, you have to learn the library system with its collection of databases and book collections, and dive into the sort of resources, okay, that your professor, right, in reading the essays, the papers, would find acceptable, right? And it's not about just simple search on Google. It's about learning the library databases and finding sources there. So yeah, I think I've overtaken my time. If there is nothing else, I'm gonna stop the recording, okay?
Okay.
Okay, great. Nothing else on chat. Okay, wonderful. Let me just stop the recording.